Hello everyone, and welcome to Divine Debut. This is Kathy speaking. How are we all? Thank you for joining me here on this Astro update. I just thought that I would let you know what's going on in the sky, where the astrology is concerned, just the main aspects. I've been meaning to do this for the past few days, but I'm sure that you can understand. It's been scorching hot in Greece. We've had a heat wave and it's been really hard to work, and you can hear in the background my fan is going on full. I do apologize about that, but it's impossible without it. We've also had some power cuts. Imagine now trying to have the air conditioning on or even the fan when there's no electricity. Anyway, I suppose everyone's got their air conditioners on and they're trying to conserve energy. Anyway, I'm sure most of you have heard about the blazing wildfires that are happening in Greece. Now I'm in northern Greece on the mainland, so thank you for your wishes pertaining to my safety, and that all will be well. The fires we've got, on the island of Rhodes and then on the island of Corfu, which is northwest from the mainland. Rhodes is southeast, concerning the place that I'm living at. But I'm really worried about the people there. They've, thank God, and I'm going to say, okay, everyone's safe. All the tourists, and as many of you know, it is peak season for tourism in Greece and in Europe generally. And they've had really hot weather in most of Europe, Italy, I know, and in Spain. And anyway, we've also got towards Athens and the mainland, some fires burning there. We've had a heat wave for about 2 weeks now. It's one of the longest heat waves ever that we've had in Greece. There are many reasons why this has happened. I don't want to get into politics, but we know that the weather will be getting a little bit cooler, or a little bit, the heat will get a little bit more milder, and we'll be able to breathe. We haven't been able to breathe. It's been so hot. So thank you for joining me here. I forgot to mention 2 firefighters. Actually, they were, I think they were in the army, trying to put out the fires. 2 pilots went down, unfortunately, because their water plane was 50 years old. It's just ridiculous. The government is lacking in many areas, and again, I don't want to get into the politics, but it's very disappointing. My heartfelt wishes to the families of the people that went down, that lost their lives, the heroes that lost their lives, 2 young people. This happened only yesterday, I think. So my best wishes, and God rest their soul. Anyway, let's get into the astrology. Before it gets too hot, we will be doing a twin flame soulmate reading today. We won't be taking a yes please. We can't be doing this every week, my dear friends. It's the 26th of July today of 2023, and it's almost the end of July, so I have to get my finger out and do some readings for Patreon, the individual love readings that we do for tier 1. And I'd also like to wish my beautiful big sister, my angel, she's an angel and her name is Angela, wishing her a very happy birthday. She's a beautiful, big-hearted Leo, like most of my Leo friends are. And happy birthday to you if you are celebrating your birthday today. My love to all of you. All right, so let's just look at the most important things that are going on in the sky. I did something on the community yesterday talking about Venus and Mercury. Here they are. Here is Venus and here is Mercury. As you can see, Venus is retrograde. She's at 28 degrees of Leo. See the color red, which says that she's retrograde. So she's heading backwards, right? She's heading backwards. And Mercury is moving direct still. So they're going to meet up in the sky in the next couple of days. Now, of course, in the natural fifth house, right? Natural fifth house is Leo, as I've got 0 Aries here. Dear friends, I can help you follow along. So, okay, and I spoke about sweet words, kind words. Leo is all about the heart, right? All about the heart. So remember, Leo is also the inner child. Let's not forget that. So Leo wants to play, wants to take a risk, wants to have fun, wants to take a gamble. And remember, with Venus retrograding in Leo, it's been 8 years since Venus was again retrograde in this area of the chart. So where is Leo in your chart? So depending on what your rising sign is, then you would know which area of life Leo takes up for you personally. Okay, so conversations, information pertaining to what it is we're creating. Remember that Leo is the fifth house, right? Fifth house, which means creativity, inspiration, what it is that we're giving birth to. Now, Leo is also the heart. Leo being the heart means that we're coming from a place of heart. Clarity, confidence is Leo. And we're revisiting old situations, obviously, here. Revisiting because Venus is retrograde, and of course Venus is connecting, remember, to the sign of Taurus. We are talking about fixed signs, right? Leo and Taurus, they are separated by 90 degrees. So even Mercury and Venus will soon, well, Mercury is already connected, as you could see here. Mercury is at 26 degrees. So Mercury's past the 22nd degree where he connected with Uranus, both moving direct, which is all about taking action, moving forward. And remember, Taurus it's our values, it's our money, it's a Venus ruled sign. So the fact that Venus connects to Taurus through a square, it is a challenge. Let me do this right. I'm just getting the hang of this program. It is a challenge, but it's all about getting uncomfortable. Remember, squares are 90 degrees, and Venus being the ruling sign of Taurus does help the situation. So Venus is going backwards, right? She's needing to revisit. She's needing to re-look at a situation. And because Mercury and Uranus, Mercury is the logic and Uranus is the bright ideas, uncharted territory, we could say, unexpected turns of events or information or anything that you hear, right? Because it can speak to, mainstream media. Mercury is the news. Uranus is unexpected tower moments and things to do with our values. Remember, Uranus is transiting through Taurus, and Taurus is our money, it's our securities. Uranus is not strong in Taurus. It's in fall. But we can have the incentive of, through information, of what is it that we need to possibly re-look at. And why I'm using the word re is because Venus is retrograde, of course, and not only Venus, we've got a few planets that are retrograde. We've got Saturn, we've got Neptune, we've got Pluto, right? And we're also going to have Mercury that will enter Virgo, which is its home sign. It will be in its rulership. Mercury will enter Virgo in 3 days, so communication will be very strong. Anything pertaining to matters of health as well, because Virgo, the natural sixth house, does speak to health, and anything to do with work or our daily life, the practical things in life, or the practical steps, the physical steps we take. We will find solutions and resolutions, obviously. But with Mercury that will retrograde in Virgo, and that won't happen until towards the end of August. So on the 23rd of August is when Mercury will be retrograding in Virgo, so from the 8th to the 22nd degree of Virgo. So that will affect obviously the mutable signs, so Virgo, Pisces here, and Sagittarius and Gemini. Remember that Mercury also is the ruling planet of Gemini, right? So lots to do with information, communication, news, collaborations, and business is Mercury as well. So taking practical steps, but of course with Mercury retrograding in its home sign, again, we'll be returning to the past, so we'll have another retrograde planet. As I said, it's the end of August, so Venus will still be retrograde at that point. And then we're going to have Uranus a week later. Uranus will be retrograding as well, and Uranus is an outer planet. It doesn't move up or down by only a couple of degrees. So Uranus will be retrograde end of August all the way up until the end of January. So from the 19th degree of Taurus to the 23rd degree. So that's 4 degrees roughly. So those, from the 19th to the 23rd degree roughly of the fixed signs. So Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius and Leo, right? Uranus retrograde will be affecting these signs. Okay. Then after that, on the 4th of September, which is when Venus will turn direct, Jupiter on the day will be turning retrograde. So Jupiter from Taurus will be turning retrograde when he gets to the 15th degree. So 15 degrees. I do apologize about the writing, from the 15th till the 5th degree. And dear friends, these are the same degrees that Mercury retrograded in this area of your chart. So it will be interesting. It will be like sort of revisiting the last Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrogrades every 3 months or so for about 3 weeks. Okay, so interesting that will be. So again, as I said, it's the 5th till the 15th degree, and it will be like turning back the hands of time when Mercury was retrograde in Taurus, which felt like a really, really, really long retrograde, because earth signs are very slow, and of course with Mercury being there, Mercury is more about the mind. Think of it, if Mercury rules Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign, and also rules Virgo, which Virgo is very much about discernment and the little details. Mercury rules the left side of the brain, so it speaks to logic, communication, a sharp mind, and that's why I usually see the archetype of Virgo as very similar to an air sign, even though Virgo is an earth sign. Okay, so, all right. So we spoke about the retrogrades that are ahead of us, and it is retrograde season at this time of the year. And So those planets will retrograde. Now, Mercury, as I said, on the 29th, will be entering its home sign, the sign of Virgo. And then it will be at the end of August, so a month later, is when Mars will also enter Libra. So the energies will shift. Now, Mars is in Virgo at this point, and Mars can be very much about, Mars in Virgo, it's about the little details, can be very nitpicky and just pinpointing and criticizing. Mars wants to move fast. It's not fast in an earth sign, and because Virgo is all about service, it is about putting in extra effort. That's what Mars is. It's our energy. If you haven't been feeling very energetic, then maybe a little bit of exercise could help energize you even more. Even doing, taking practical steps, taking vitamins or whatever it is that you need to make you feel stronger. Now remember, Virgo is our health. It is the house of health. It is the sixth natural house of work. So maybe working extra hard, doing 2 different jobs could be the case for some of you with Mars in Virgo. Now, what we see in the sky and what's been very, very important to mention, because we've just gone over a really difficult peak, right, which was the Sun opposing Pluto, and you could see the nodal axis, which has obviously shifted. North node in Aries, South node in Libra. This happened on the 17th, and we had a new moon in Cancer, which was a challenging new moon. The last lunation in Cancer. So we see a grand cross here. So anything that was passing, this point here, the 29th degree of Cancer, which obviously is affecting the cardinal signs. You could see here we've got Cancer. Cancer squares over to Aries, which is a cardinal fire sign. Aries squares over to cardinal Capricorn. Capricorn squares over to cardinal Libra. And Libra squares over to cardinal Cancer. So you see this grand cross. Yeah? This is like a pressure cooker. This is really, really tough, especially pertaining to the collective, because the nodal axis speaks to the collective future consciousness. You can see the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra, of course, and 29th degree, my darling friends, 29 degrees. It's the anaretic degree. It's a very tough degree. It's a very negative degree, and we see it here, we see it here, we see it here, and we see it here. So obviously now the Sun, as you can see, has moved off that 29th degree, and this grand cross is letting go. It's like we're like exhaling. Ever since the Sun left the sign of Cancer and ingressed into Leo. Remember, Leo is the heart. Leo is confident. Leo is, it's fire, it's inspiration, it's heart, it's creativity, it's childlike energy, and it's generosity, and it's all about the heart right now. And I love that we've got Mercury and Venus connecting here. So let's have a look. Let's just see when that will happen exactly. So it's Mercury conjoining with, it's tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow at 6:15 p.m. Greek time. So it's 4:15 p.m. in the afternoon UTC time. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay. Thank you very much. So it's tomorrow, and I'd like to draw your attention also very strongly to this here. Can you see this in conjunction? So it's pointing to Venus and Mercury. So this is tomorrow. They're exact at the 28th degree in 11 minutes. You could see from Pluto the in conjunction, which is 150 degrees. So it's not an opposition because Capricorn opposes Cancer, right? So we see the in conjunction, these green lines from Pluto to Venus and Mercury. So an in conjunction means there's a dilemma, okay? It's, you know, for me, Capricorn is duty here. Duty, maturity, hard work. Leo is play. They don't share anything at all in common because Leo is a fire fixed sign. It's the child that wants to play, whereas Capricorn, right? Capricorn is the elder, the wiser, someone who needs to be strong, needs to continue fighting, bringing home the money, working hard, trying to maintain a healthy reputation in the world. It's not about play. So you see they share nothing at all. So there's a dilemma. Astronomically speaking, Leo cannot see Capricorn. So we've got an in conjunction here and another in conjunction from Neptune over to, again, Venus and Mercury, right? Remember what we said, it's 100, okay, wrong symbol. Okay, it's 150 degrees. Okay, and so they're missing the point. They can't see each other. They cannot communicate. There's a huge dilemma here. Now, Neptune, which is in conjunct Venus, remember that Neptune is at the degree that Venus is exalted in Pisces. So Venus and Neptune, they do help each other, right? Now, Venus, remember, is exalted in Pisces, but this is an in conjunction, which again is another dilemma. Remember, Venus is peace, tranquility, love, imagination. It's anything that is beautiful, anything that makes you feel good, matters concerning the heart of a matter, the ability to create. Remember that Leo is all about birthing something new. Now, Venus and Neptune, when they connect in a good way, so in a trine or in a sextile, so a trine is 120 degrees, the sextile is 60 degrees, when they flow, when the energy flows, then whatever we imagine we can create easily. It's very easily, it just comes naturally. Here there are dilemmas and we need to put extra effort in. We need to obviously make, a point of putting extra effort in. So what is Leo? It's generosity coming from a place of heart, having the confidence that we can create and, putting some play and some love and some fun into a situation. And Neptune in Pisces, which Neptune rules Pisces. So therefore we've got a very strong imaginative, very creative, very artistic sort of a moment here. And of course it could speak to a lot of romance. Okay, but there's something that we're missing. So we may be doubting because a dilemma can speak to doubts. Is this connection, is this partnership, love relationship, are they being true? Is this real, or are they coming from a place of deception, and am I not seeing clearly? Remember, Neptune is those rose-colored glasses. Okay? So there's something that we're missing here. And these in conjunctions, right? are pointing to Venus and Mercury. So have those loving words. Remember what I spoke of, Venus conjoining with Mercury. Mercury obviously is decision making. It's doing your homework. It's trying to figure things out. It's using logic. I love Mercury and Venus together. It's like the brother and the sister. I see Venus because Venus is the feminine. It's a divine feminine energy. It can have to do with any women or just the feminine archetype. Mercury is more the in-between. So more neutral energy. It's like the little child, you know. It's the little child. So it's the little, I do see him more masculine, but that's not necessarily the case. I see him, you know, just like a 10, 11-year-old little boy before his voice breaks. That's how I see Mercury. And Venus and Mercury hold hands together. They're two personal planets, and they, if you think of the, you know, astronomically speaking, they're right next to each other in their orbit around the sun. So it's like the elder sister holding the little brother's hand, or little sister's hand, whatever. So they work well together. Now, these in conjunctions are also connected with a sextile here, and the sextile is 60 degrees, right? Which is opportunities. We've got a beautiful connection with Neptune and Pluto. This, you know, they've been in a sextile for quite some time because they're outer planets. You know, Neptune is the dream, Pluto is the change. It's letting something die off that has been too hard, that's been very Cronian, very Saturnian, very limiting. Or this can say also that what we've dreamed of through putting the effort, striving to succeed, which is Capricorn, and letting old situations of dilemmas or even fears, a fear of a lack of success, letting that go and just trusting and believing that we can succeed. So this yod here, this yod, my dear friends, which, you know, it's been here for, you know, over a week, at least 10 days. The finger of God is pointing to this area of Leo. So do you have anything at the 28th, let's say 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 degrees of Leo? But most importantly, because Venus is retrograding in Leo from the 12th to the 28th degree of Leo, which obviously will affect the fixed signs. Which are the fixed signs? Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. Okay? So this yod has been around, and tomorrow it will be even stronger. As you could see, that the green lines are even more potent here. But the thing is that we've got another yod here. We've got another yod, and maybe let's go one day forward. You could practically actually let's stay on the 27th. I think you could see it a little bit better. Can you see here this sextile from the south node in Libra at the 29th degree, which was the last Venus star point, which means Venus and Sun conjoin, they embrace, they hug, and they kiss at the 29th degree of Libra, instead of the sign of Scorpio, which they've been happening for, for, I don't know, maybe 100 years or so. The last Venus star point, Venus was still direct last October on the 22nd of the 10th last year, right, of 2022. Okay, this opened up a new portal. It was a new portal because from now on, Venus, the Venus star point, which is the Venus Sun conjunction that's been happening in Scorpio for so many years, has now shifted into Libra for a little bit. If you're wanting to learn more about this, dear friends, I have done a Venus star point analysis on Patreon, so do join us there. You can get the links beneath where I go into many more details. But just pointing out that 29th degree of Libra, which is a very important degree. And we see that the South Node in Libra, which is a Venus-ruled sign, and Venus is retrograde, right, is in help. I mean, the South Node, which is what we're needing to let go of, relationships, partnerships, family, business, friends, whatever it is, that have not been equal, that have run their course. In the next year and a half, we'll be doing this. Relationships that have been unjust, unfriendly, unequal, just taking from us, just feeding off us, right? Like a vampire. It's time to let them go. We've got help to do that with Venus retrograding now. And Venus retrograding, and she's in a good connection to the last star point that she made. This is significant. So do you have anything at the 29th degree? Let's say the last 3 degrees of the cardinal sign. So Libra, obviously Libra, Aries, Capricorn, and Cancer. This is important. Now, from Venus and Mercury, we could say Lilith is here also, where there's been injustices, right? She's that raw sexual energy. And remember, Leo is also very sexual. It's the natural 5th house, which rules sex. It rules flirtation. It rules dating. And just on that note, Venus is retrograde. Go out and date and have fun. If you're hoping for something long-term, it's not the time to start something new. If it's a past relationship that's returning, someone you've been waiting on, maybe have a look at it. This is Venus giving you an opportunity to look back to the past and see if you can redo a relationship, if you can glue those cracks within a relationship. If not, it's time to let it go. And here is the opportunity. Venus, Mercury, and Lilith, we could say, trines over, and a trine is 120 degrees, right? And of course the nodes, they do oppose each other. So see this wedge here, and the apex is right here. The apex is here. Venus, Mercury, and Lilith. So it's a time to come from a place of love, because remember, Lilith can be very dark. She could be very full of rage and anger and venom and poison. It's not a time of riding high on our horse. Leo, we all have Leo in our chart somewhere, right? Leo is a fixed sign, can be very much about riding high on their horse because of success, because of a very strong ego. Remember the sun. I'm the king. I'm the queen. This vanity can sometimes get to our heads. So come from a place of love. You've got the opportunity. The finger of God points to talks of love, talks of resolutions, talks of let bygones be bygones, and come from a place of love. If something doesn't work, it's time to let it go, right? Libra, 29 degrees, South Node. It's a time of courage. Remember, Lilith and Leo, I'm going to say Leo, trines over to Aries. Remember that the sun, which rules Leo, is exalted in Aries. It loves being in Aries. And a trine obviously is flowing energy. So we do have opportunities here. We've got great opportunities. Now notice that Chiron also has retrograded. He retrograded on the same day as Venus. at the 19th degree. Of course, Chiron does not move very fast. He's an asteroid, which is very slow moving. But, and of course, Chiron is retrograde, and Chiron will be retrograde for a few months. I don't have the exact date, but Chiron being the wounded healer, he's in the sign of Aries. The North Node is in Aries, so it's all about Mars. The focal point is Mars, and if you look at Aries, because from Aries to Virgo, it's an inconjunction, right? Which is, again, 150 degrees. Virgo, being a mutable earth sign, shares nothing with cardinal fire Aries. Aries is all about the warrior. It's the energy, it's the drive, it can be forceful, it's cardinal fire. It's I, me, my, where Virgo is more, it's more of service. It's more about the little details. Aries is, I want to, I'm driven. I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to jump off the cliff. I'm going to jump. I'm going to take action before I even think about it. Aries goes head in first. Very courageous. But the inconjunction with Mars, which rules Aries, says, try if you can, because we've all got Aries somewhere in our chart, right? Try and think before you take that leap of faith. Sometimes I suppose not even, looking and taking a leap of faith could find you with success, as long as this risk is not too big, will not be too costly for you. That's what I wanted to say. Small risks are good, taking a risk, taking a chance, but don't risk everything. That's the caution here. And I just want to say, look, the Grand Cross is over with, practically. This was very dangerous, pertaining to world matters. We've seen what's been going out in the world. A lot's been going on, but remember that also Mars. Now, Mars, being the ruling planet of the North Node, which is the collective future consciousness, Mars is the trigger. And when Mars gets to Libra, to that 29th degree, he's going to trigger this grand square again. So we'll be talking about that on Patreon. Again, I'm going to say, if you're not on tier 3 on Patreon, then you don't get this analysis, the month ahead astrology. Tier 2 also get the lunations, full moons, new moons, and the eclipses as well. But it's tier 3, get the extra perks like the retrograde planet analysis, when we've got big, very important conjunctions of outer planets and very important happenings pertaining to the sky. It's tier 3 that get those bonuses. And of course, all tiers get to go into a draw to win a free reading. Every single month we have 3 winners. Most of you know that because the algorithm does not show Divine Debut. As you could see, our views are very, very low because the algorithm doesn't like Divine Debut 11. What can I say? Maybe quality is not as important to people, but it's more so quantity. For me, I insist on quality, and I'll just keep working at that, whatever happens. I want to thank my patrons, of course, always for their support, and also to those of you that are on YouTube that always comment and like and share these videos, and whatever you do, it's the exchange of energy. Thank you to all of you. Let's see what we've missed now. What have we missed? Okay, so, Mars, just looking at Mars in Virgo. Remember, Virgo is an earth sign, and so is Taurus. So Mars is soon, in the next week or so, will be trining over to Jupiter. So this is wonderful because, you know, Jupiter expands on everything. Of course, Jupiter is, it's the divine, it's spirit, it's a teacher. It is about optimism. Now, of course, Jupiter being in a Venus-ruled sign, in a beautiful sign pertaining to securities, self-worth, and what gives us that sense of feeling good, you know, that the goodness of the physical body. What is it that we need to survive, to sustain? It's practical matters. It's physical things like the money that we hold in the bank. It's the food that we have, the food that we purchase and we cook and we eat. We need to survive, right? So Mars being can be very strategic in the sign of Virgo, and of course both connecting in a trine, you know, Virgo and Taurus, and it's like going to war, but it's all about the details and it's all about practical matters. Now, it's like walking a path that is sure that the success at some point will be certain. Now, the negative could be that because Virgo could be very discerning and criticizing and just too much about, you know, pulling things apart, and Jupiter can expand on that. The advice is let that go. Don't be just about the tiny details. Don't get stuck on the little things. Look at the bigger picture. Now, sometimes looking at the small details can behoove us, can help, but not always the case. So I was saying here also that we've got a wedge, you know, it's pointing here to Venus and Mercury and Lilith and this opposition. So this is a beautiful aspect. It's like a gift. It's flowing. You know, the focal point is Venus and Mercury. We could be having talks about business. We could be having talks about our children or what we're hoping to create, the business side of things. This is what we love to do. And when there's love and heart in a situation, and we're good with the details and there's logic, then it can only succeed. But right now we're doing the work. Remember, Venus retrograde is about internalizing the love. It's turning things inwards. How are you feeling internally? Your higher self. This is what we're looking at. We're revisiting the past, but also the energies are turned inwards. If we are happy, then we will create wondrous things, right? But it's not only this wedge. It is also another sextile and an inconjunction to Neptune in Pisces. So again, it's this inconjunction to Neptune, but it's also an inconjunction to the South Node. And remember, the South Node is what we're needing to let go of, what's run its course. You know, there's a lot of litigation, a lot of people taking those that need to go to court because of unjust, unfair, fated events that have played out. Remember, the South Node has come from Scorpio, and Scorpio is Pluto, so it can relate to money, control, power, poison, money coming through from others, loans from a loan from the bank, from other sources, from a partner. Scorpio is money that comes from others, and Scorpio is also fears, a fear of death. Now it's all about harmony and balance. Remember, Libra is relationships, equal, justified partnerships, equal giving and receiving. It's like flowing, right? So the finger of God is pointing to Neptune, my dear friends. Neptune at the 27th degree of Pisces. So very, very important for Pisces, the mutable signs. Virgo, which is opposite, Sagittarius, and Gemini. So if you've got any planets or angles You know, you've got your sun or your moon or a personal planet, your north or south node at those last, 4 degrees of the mutable signs, then this is very important for you. Remember, Neptune is the god of the seas. He can bring a lot of illusion, a lot of deception. It can speak to a lot of propaganda, but it can be also, Neptune is spirit, it's God himself, it's the angels, it's creativity, it's artists and imagination and creation through source. So again, Libra shares nothing with Pisces. Libra is a cardinal air sign. Pisces is a mutable water sign, so it's very emotional. It's very sensitive, whereas Libra is all about the brain. It's all about the mind and the logic, right? It's all about communication, whereas Pisces is about emotion and feeling into the energies. Now, I love that we've got Saturn in Pisces here. Saturn is heading back to the 0 degrees of Pisces. So these first 7 degrees of Pisces, do you have anything, or even Virgo or Sagittarius or Gemini, the mutable signs? I personally have my Venus right opposite in Virgo at 5 degrees of Virgo. So Saturn is in opposition to my Venus. Just giving you an example, right? Now, Pisces is unconditional love, empathy, sacrifice, letting go. Remember, it's the natural 12th house, right? The 12th house is a very karmic house. It rules sleep, it rules dreams, it rules solitude and quiet and meditation, and even it rules mental asylums, long distance, people that are at a long distance. It rules immigration, so foreign immigration. It rules secret enemies as well. And remember, it's the natural 12th house, as Virgo is the 6th natural house. So, this is the axis of health. Virgo is practical health. It's our physical health, and Pisces is our mental, emotional, psychological health. So Saturn is sort of trying to ground us, because Pisces is all about escapism. Remember, Pisces can also be, we're intaking any substances that help us escape a situation that's just too difficult. Saturn will help us put a lid on that. Saturn will ground us, and Saturn will also help us start to build on that dream. Okay, on that dream. Now, so I've pointed out pertaining to these yods that are very rare. They're very rare aspects in the sky, and but what's really, really important is that in both these aspects, it's Venus and Mercury, and the area of Leo that is affected. So we've got two yods, right? So two focal points. We've got a beautiful wedge. We've got Mars trining over to Chiron, and remember that Chiron being the open wound, or the wounding of the mind, or a wound that we're carrying from our childhood or from a past lifetime, speaks to resolution and finding that key to unlock the inability to take that chance to go on that, to take strides pertaining to some sort of a new seed that we're planting. Okay? Aries is leadership. It's courage and it's leadership. It's initiation. So Mars is in good aspect here, and Venus I wanted to mention here from Leo. Mars is not in good aspect. It's in an inconjunction. So Mars is in good aspect here to Taurus that we were talking about It's Venus that's in good aspect here to Chiron, and Venus will be connecting to Chiron. It's 3 times we've spoken about this on Patreon. So when Venus gets to the 19th degree, she will trine over to Chiron, but she still will be retrograde. And then she will again trine over to Chiron. I've got the dates and everything on Patreon, so if you're interested, join us there. Thank you for even considering. Okay, let's talk about the lunations now. Oh, one last thing is that Juno, the asteroid of commitment and marriage, contracts, anything, business, family, whatever it is. Juno, the asteroid of commitment, remember she was in mythology the wife of Jupiter. She's like the perfect wife, partner, right? She kept, she was loyal, she was faithful, even though she was challenged not to be because she was dealing with infidelity. She kept her position. So she's very stable, very steady, but she can be about revenge as well, because she kept her position, but she took revenge where others did her wrong. Not her partner, but of the others in the stories. And she's in Cancer. Cancer is the mother. Cancer is the home. It speaks to emotional security and the past. Now, Juno, which has recently, because the sun has connected with Juno, the sun moves faster than Juno. So let's say 4 and 11, about 2 weeks ago, we had the sun conjoining with Juno in Cancer, so roughly at the same degrees, roughly here. If you've got anything in Cancer or in the cardinal signs pertaining to roughly the end of the second decan, cardinal signs being Cancer and Capricorn and Libra and Aries. This is a new seed that's been birthed, right? And Juno will at some point retrograde in Virgo towards the end of the year. So it'll be all about the little details and see if we could take practical steps to put in extra effort and heal, because Virgo is all about healing. And logically, the ancients say that Chiron, the wounded healer, was the original, or even is the original ruler of Virgo. Sounds quite correct to me, because Chiron is about an open wound and finding, and healing, different methods of healing as well, whether it's physical, psychological, emotional. So it sounds quite correct to me, but then they assigned Mercury as ruling planet of Virgo. So I still believe Virgo is very connected indeed to Chiron, my dear friends. But anyway, yes, see if we can heal any relationships through taking practical steps. And, it's not only relationships. It could be relationships with co-workers. I mean, the 6th natural house rules people that we work with, people that we see on a daily basis. Right? And Juno is in square to Chiron. So a square is taking the action to heal, right? Remember that Cancer is cardinal water. It's speaking up, speaking about your emotions, what's hurt you, what it is that you need to give you that emotional security, matters pertaining to the past. Cancer does speak to the past. Venus is retrograde, bringing up the past, right? So take the opportunity and open your heart. Remember, open your heart. Take advantage of the opportunities, because retrograde planets speak to opportunities. It's not that the planets do not want us to move direct and move forward and, be stuck, because we are stuck. Retrograde planets, though, give us opportunities. For instance, Saturn retrograde, he gives us an opportunity, a breather, to keep doing the hard work, because when he turns direct, and he's going to turn direct early November, then the pressure will be on. So get ahead whilst you can. Don't say, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to put in any more effort. Now is your opportunity to put in the effort so that you will be ready when Saturn turns direct. And even Neptune, retrograde Neptune, right? This is like the blinders coming off, seeing the truth. The truth will be revealed. Okay? And we've got Hygeia here, the asteroid of health. She's in Aquarius, in the sign ruled by Chiron, by Saturn and Uranus. Remember, Aquarius is all about freedom. It's all about intelligence. It's all about information, communication. Connecting with large groups of people. It's the 11th house, the 11th natural house in the zodiac. It speaks to money, after you've put in the effort, because the 10th house is your career house, right? This is what you strive, your reputation in the world. What have you worked on? Okay, Aquarius is where you see your effort being rewarded. The 11th house is a natural lucky house. It's the house of wishes and dreams. Nevertheless, it can also speak to adjustments and breaking free. And Hygeia being in the house of Aquarius, which can mean new sources, new technological ways, new sources of healing, breakthroughs where healing is concerned. Now, there's an inconjunction connected to Juno. So again, they're missing the point, but there's some sort of a dilemma. We're looking at the health of our relationships, friendships, people we collaborate with, people that we create with. Okay, let's go to the lunations, and I think we're almost done. And we can also see that Pluto has now left that 29th degree and is heading back towards the 27th degree, where he's going to station to turn direct. And my dear friends, it's the 27th degree of Capricorn, which is the exaltation degree of Mars, right? So Pluto is going to be very, very powerful indeed when he moves back to that 27th degree, which won't be for a little while. But remember that this, and this is something that I need to mention, which is very, very important. This T-square, which we see Pluto at the apex. Pluto is the apex, right? It's like the top of the volcano where the lava comes out of, because the pressure is here. There's an opposition, the past and the future, collective consciousness, and the squares here. The squares which say we need to do the work. Let's do this in a proper way. These are squares. Thank you very much. Okay, this gets activated and again, and it will be Mars mainly, which is usually the trigger. Mars is fire. It's guns. It's knives. It's anything sharp. It's anything explosive. He is the god of war. Let's not forget. And the war is still continuing. The war for power, the war for control, to control the masses, to control the world through riches, through fossil fuels, through power, through health crisis, through so many different ways, through propaganda, through mainstream media. Are you still listening to those mainstream media, to the main channels that are being awarded and rewarded for the propaganda and for the storytelling? Because there's a lot of narratives and storytelling. Make sure you check your information before you take everything at face value, my dear friends. And that's all I'm going to talk about pertaining to politics. Neptune is in Pisces, right? And remember, Neptune is the light. The light is in good connection with the darkness. It's time for that veil to be lifted, and that we see what's been beneath, what is tainted, what is dirty, what is filthy, what smells, stagnation, stagnant waters and unhealthy situations. Yuck. All right. I was going to talk about the lunations. Let me get off that rant. So we've got, in the month of August, we're going to have three moons, through lunation cycles, dear friends. The first will be a full moon in Aquarius at 9:15. So somewhere here. Right. And then a full moon, of course, is a culmination, a completion point. So obviously this will be affecting the fixed signs that are born in the first, at the end of the first decan of the fixed signs of course, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio. Of course, we will be talking about that on Patreon. Then we'll have a new moon on the 16th of August at the 23rd degree, so somewhere here, in this point here, of Leo. A new moon in Leo, where Venus is retrograding. That will be interesting, right? So a new seed will be planted again. It will affect those born in the third decan of the fixed signs. And then on the 31st, the blue moon, 31st of August, we're going to have a full moon, a culmination, a completion at 7 degrees of Pisces. 7 degrees of Pisces. Wow, do you have anything there? Do you have anything in those first 7 degrees of the mutable signs? So Pisces, Virgo, and Sagittarius, Sag and Gemini. Very important. Remember that when we've got a full moon, like on the 1st of August, it can speak to, a culmination of 6 months. Look back at the new moon in the Aquarius season earlier on in the year. What was you had sent out your intentions to spirit. Now you can see the culmination of that wish, of those intentions that you sent out to spirit. The same on the blue moon on the 31st of August of 2023 in Pisces, being very close to Saturn. We'll be talking about that, of course. And as you know, when I do The Messenger is Here, the tarot, I do reference astrology there as well. I do feel that the astrology and the tarot work really well together. So I think I'm just looking at my notes. Of course, the sun is going to ingress into Virgo. We're not there yet, as the sun has just ingressed into Leo. It's still at the first degrees. So Leo season, a very hot season. It's all about fire, desire, creation, fun, risk-taking, even investments. Take a risk, invest, buy that lottery ticket, take a chance on love, take a chance on relationships. And remember, it's all about the heart. All right. I think I will leave it there. It'll be interesting to see what this Jupiter trining over to Mars is going to be about. So obviously with Mars at the 10th degree of Virgo, very important for those born in the first decan. So for earth signs generally, of course, for Capricorn as well, Jupiter is in trine to Capricorn. So Capricorn, it is, Jupiter is helping very much. And remember, lastly, before I go, Jupiter and Uranus are coming all the while closer together, as Jupiter is going to station at that 15th degree here and will be like 7 degrees away from from Uranus. These two can really make magic, and they will. I mean, they're a blessing here. The blessings do come from above, from spirit, from God, from whoever you believe in, my dear friends. Next year they will be exact in spring in the northern hemisphere and autumn in the southern hemisphere. So still the blessings are here. So really looking forward to that. But I just wanted to mention also that it's Jupiter is bringing blessings to of course, to Taurus, and the earth signs that are born in the first couple of weeks, as he's bringing his blessings up until the 15th degree, right, of Taurus. For the rest of you earth signs and even water signs that are born from the second half of the season, so of course Cancer, Scorpio, and even Pisces, if you've got planets or anything in the first 15 degrees, Jupiter is giving you the blessings now. It will be next year when the second half of the earth and water signs will have the blessings of Jupiter. And of course, those of you that have got anything at around the 22nd degree of Taurus, of course, again for the earth signs, very positive indeed. I actually have I've got my Uranus at 22nd degrees. So no, it's my yeah, they're very close. I've got Uranus and Mercury here, 22nd degrees, 22nd of Virgo. So this will be a blessing, truly. So I'm wishing you well, my dear friends. I hope that this update has given you some understanding of what we're up against right now. There are many blessings, and my goodness, I would love to do this for you so much more often, and even make these videos smaller. It's like something's holding me back. It's either whether it's time. You remember, I've got Saturn in my Saturn is transiting through my 7th house of clients and relationships and family, and there's a lot going on for me as well. Remember, I'm not only guiding all you guys, but I'm a human with a human existence as well, living a mundane life myself. So just wanting to thank you all, and I hope that you're enjoying your summer, my dear friends. I will be back, of course. I'm going to be preparing, of course, the Tier 1 individual love readings that we do on Patreon. And, of course, I will do 4 videos, the Elemental for YouTube, the free videos on YouTube. And as I've explained, we're doing it this way because we don't get a lot of views, and it is a lot of work. So, and also the month ahead astrology for Patreon, and goodness me, I've got a lot on my plate, as usual. Always chasing my tail. Two of Pentacles, right, up in the air. Multitasking and juggling and all that. So that's little old me. I want to take a message of love, because we've been talking about matters of heart, right? This is the psychic tarot for the heart. And let's just see the energy today. We'll see if it resonates also with the twin flame soulmate reading that I'm going to do later. I will premiere it so I can chat with you guys, but we won't be taking personal handwritten love messages. We'll only take the general handwritten love cards and see if they resonate with your personal previous love messages that you've gotten from me. Let's see, dear Spirit, just for your guidance. Thank you. What's going on in matters of heart? What's going on in matters of heart, please, Spirit? I think the card went to open and then it went to close, but I opened it because it's the card that jumped, right? And we've got balance. We've got Sagittarius, Jupiter, and we've got Temperance. Number 14, we've got the twins. We've got the twins, and I'll take I don't know. I might upload it on the community, okay, so that you could see the image. It's 2 halves of a whole. It's 2 whole that come together. It's just like the sperm and the ovary that come together and start to create something new, right? So it speaks to balance. It speaks to relationships. I love the card Spirit is saying, and this is Archangel Michael. And thank you, dear Spirit. This is Archangel Michael saying that it all is happening in divine timing. There will be healing. We are going through healing. Remember, the next year and a half will be only about partnerships, relationships, and people that are our equal, people that deserve to be in our lives. And of course, justice and, peace and tranquility. And of course, finding our other half, finding our tribes. I love this card. Number 14. And today's the 26th, maybe the 14th of August is a important day. It's the 15th of August is a very spiritual day, very important day for the Greek Orthodox and for many people around the world. It does have to do with Mother Mary, so very important day is around, mid-August. It's the 13th or the 14th when we're having the Venus star point. Hello. Now remember, temperance is also foreigners, your beliefs. It's what you believe, it's your religion, it's foreign places, distant countries, other cultures. We're all one. We're all sisters and brothers. This is the wisdom we're going through now. This is what we are learning through teachers maybe in our life that could be quite challenging, but give us the wisdom that we need to become, to become a beacon of light for others. And, wisdom and knowledge needs to be passed on. It's like, the baton that needs to be passed on to the next generations. I will leave it there. Love you all so much. Sending you my best. I will catch up with you tonight on the Twin Flame Soulmate. So join me at the usual time, 10:30 Greek time. So it's 8:30 p.m. UTC time. Love you all. Talk soon.